I did not want to stay around and hang out for that. My opponent actually ends up forfeiting. They knew Mr. Rhyme in the back was too much for them to handle. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Pokemon Showdown Live here on the channel. Today, we have a team around Mr. Rhyme. This is a team that MV recently featured over on his channel. I'll be sure to link it down below, as well as the Paceman if you guys want to check it out. But we do have here the Heavy Duty Boots, Mr. Rhyme. Screen Cleaner actually removing Reflect, Light Screen, Aurora Veil, all that fun stuff upon switch in. We've got a defensive Casted Berry Jellicent here, Hex, Will-O-Wisp, Taunt, and Strength Sap. Heavy Duty Boots, Mandibuzz, specially defensive with Foul Play, U-Turn, Defog, and Roost. Leftover Steelix with Iron Head, Body Press, Iron Defense, and Stealth Rock. Iron Defense and Body Press pair together really, really nicely, as Body Press is based off of our defense instead of the attack and damage calculation. Then we do have Life Orb, Magikarp, Clefable, which is really, really nice. The coverage alone is pretty impressive. Moonblast, Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, and Moonlight. And then last but not least, I mentioned in the last Showdown Live that I had seen somebody use Volt Absorb Dracozolt, but I couldn't remember who. It's this team right here. So the sub leftovers Dracozolt here does not have Hustle. It does have Volt Absorb, so we are able to hit our moves a little bit more accurately here. In fact, 100% accuracy aside from that Fire Fang. And it still comes off a base 100 attack, which is really nice as well. Volt Beat being doubled if we do move first, also including if our opponent does switch. So we've got a lot of speed to make sure we still do get double damage off of the Bolt Beak there, and it does provide us an electric immunity on the team aside from Steelix. So if you guys are excited, feel free to leave a like on the video. If you guys want some more Showdown Lives, if you guys have anything you want to see, let me know in the comment section down below. Teams, all that fun stuff. And if you're new, feel free to subscribe. Subscribe for some more. We're going to queue up a match here, and I'll be right back. All right, so my opponent has Rillaboom, Copperaja, Corviknight, Dragapult, Rotom-Wash, and the Mandibuzz. So first thing I noticed is that if we can get the two Steel types out of the way, Mr. Rhyme does put in a ton of work. Another thing that I noticed is that they do have double flying, so Dracozolt should be able to do a lot of work here as well. I don't necessarily prioritize rocks in this matchup, so I don't want to lead off with Steelix. I think a good lead but my opponent could make is anything on this half of the field. And in my opinion, the thing that allows this to do the least amount of damage is actually going to be our offensive Clefable, because my opponent does lead off with the Rotom. They could go for a trick of some sort, which is something they could do. I'm going to go out on my Dracozolt here just to see if that is exactly what they want to do. They go for the Volt Switch, so if they are choiced in any way, we are going to be able to get some big damage off here. They are not tricked. They do get the Will-O-Wisp off, which is unfortunate. That is going to half our attack stat here. But with no electric immunities, I am just going to go for another Bolt Beak. We're still doubled in damage off a base 100 attack. So this is still going to do a lot of damage to something. We're going to either finish off this Rotom, or we're going to be able to do a lot of damage to anything that wants to come in afterwards. Dracozolt being burnt, provided he doesn't go into a Pokemon that allows him some setup opportunity. I think Dracozolt is going to be able to poke a little bit more holes here. But either way, we either take care of the Rotom, or we are able to put some damage off into something else. And actually, that being said, I was just about to say I do want to consider going for something else here. As Rillaboom does come out, I'm just going to go for the Fire Fang here for some damage. I want to see what this thing wants to go for here. Drum Beating a sound move? I can never remember if Drum Beating is a sound move. Let's find out. I'm pretty sure it is, so it would go through a substitute if need be. Oh, it's a physical attack. Oh, I thought you like banged the drum and the sound waves hurt. That's what I thought it was. So this thing is actually faster than our Dracozolt, which is fine. I'm just going to go for the Fire Fang here. It does have Earthquake, so I could go out into the Mandibuzz if I wanted to keep this thing around. In fact, that's what I'm going to do right now, as my opponent goes for another Earthquake. And I can simply go for a U-turn as my opponent goes out into their own Mandibuzz. Perfect, because what this allows me to do is actually go out into... I can just go back out into Dracozolt, actually. We should be faster. I don't see too many speedy Mandibuzzes running around. Mandibi running around. So I'll just go for a Bolt Beak here. It's still double damage. We are able to get a big chunk of damage off here. He goes for the Foul Play. That's fine by me, because what I can do now is go out into my Clefable, and I can just toss off a Life Orb Moonblast, hopefully doing some big damage to this bird. Copperaja could also come out to take this hit. That being said, if Copperaja comes out, I'm going to go for the Flamethrower here, in case Copperaja, Rillaboom, or Corviknight want to come out. I'll go for that Flamethrower. That'll put us in a little bit better position. I think he'd want to keep this around. I'm sure it has Roost. We do see leftovers. I want to assume he'll want to keep this around, so I think Flamethrower is going to be the better play here. Kaparaja is going to come out. We do get that Flamethrower off. We're going to be doing some big damage, big, huge damage, and we are faster than this thing. I'll go for another Flamethrower and knock this thing out. So we're looking better for Mr. Rime to be able to come in here in a bit and do some damage. If the... There it is. There's the Corbinite. So Corbinite can come out here. It's pretty speedy. I do have Steelix in the back. Also do have my Jellison here, and Jellison should be able to take an Iron Head from this thing. Yeah, that's no big deal. That is no big deal. And what I would... This thing has U-turn. I anticipate he'd probably go out into Rotom. I'm just going to go for the Hex. In case he does go on to Rotom. He actually stays in. He's going to go for the Substitute. Okay, that's fine. So we know we're faster as well. And I'm just going to go for Hex to break the sub here eventually. There's the bulk up that comes off. And after this next Hex, I'm going to hopefully take one. I'm going to hopefully take one as they go for a bulk up again. And what I'm going to do here is taunt to prevent any sort of roosting, any more substituting, things of that nature. There's the taunt. There's the Brave Bird coming off. We're not going to be able to take that too well. But we know that because Jellison was faster, that our... actually, I don't know that, because Jellison is just a few points faster than the Clefable. What is... Are you just unvested? Is that what you are? Uninvested hits 170. We're outpacing that by a little bit. I'm just gonna go for the Thunderbolt. It turns out to be uninvested Corviknight, which does hit base one, or which does hit 170 speed. So we'll go for the Thunderbolt. We'll be able to knock that thing out here. And Clefable's putting in a lot of work. We do have both the Steel types down, which does mean that Mr. Rime does have a little bit of a possibility to win this. If the my last concern on my opponent's team is that Dragapult. So if we can get rid of that Dragapult, then Mr. Rime should be able to do some shenanigans and win the game with Click and Freeze Dry a few times, because we've got Mandibuzz sitting at about half, we've got Rillaboom sitting at about half, and Rotom is not doing too well. So I'm gonna go out into my Mandibuzz on probably the Drum Beating. There's the Drum Beating there. Does lower our speed. I will just U-turn. Is this Banded Rillaboom? No, that's not doing enough damage, is it? Could be Scarf in some sense. Anyway, we're slower, or we should be slower after the speed drop. Unless he's a Trick Room set that he just brought along for the ride. We're hitting 130 after that drop. Rillaboom. There we go. All right, so Mandibuzz comes out. Now then, is my play, can I go into Mr. Rime and start clicking buttons? That's my next question. Freeze Dry is doing about 40 to 48 to specially defensive Mandibuzz. I think we need to go into Clefable just for a little bit more damage. A little bit more damage. I'm going to click Moonblast here. I'm just going to click Moonblast. He's going to be faster than me, but he shouldn't be able to do too much to me. He can knock off my Life Orb in a worst case scenario. But I did not want to stay around and hang out for that. My opponent actually ends up forfeiting. They knew Mr. Rime in the back was too much for them to handle. So first game down, I'm going to go on ahead and queue up another match, and we'll be right back. All right, so my opponent has a very nice Firewater Grass Core. They've got Butterfree, Obstagoon, and Wobbuffet as well. So I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. I did not get a white Christmas. What am I going to do here? I'm going to lead off Jellison in case they do lead off Butterfree. There it is. And I'm going to actually go out into my Mandibuzz here on the Sleep Powder. There we go. All right, cool. So this thing can't do too much to us now. I'm just going to U-turn. I don't think he'd try to set up on me. I don't think that's going to come out. So Ferrothorn's going to come out. Ferrothorn comes out, and do I actually knock you out with... Flamethrower does 84 to 100. Especially defensive. What's our Dracozolt set doing with Fire Fang? Not enough. I think my play here is to go Clefable. We've got a pretty good set, provided this is especially defensive. we've got a pretty good chance to knock this. If this thing is not specially defensively, knock it out. But even if he is like max special defense sassy, we still do a lot of damage. Fish ends up going out of the Obstagoon here on the flamethrower. That's going to be doing some pretty nice damage. Unfortunately here, that puts me in a pickle. Because this thing is going to hurt something. And I think, unfortunately... Well, let's just see here. Mandibuzz is nice for shutting down the Butterfree. I think my play here is to go Steelix. There's the Facade. We take that pretty handsomely. And what I would like to do here is to simply click... you're fast. I need to click Body Press. There's the Fire Punch. Okay, yeah, you're fast. I'm going to go for the Body Press here. Knock out the Obstagoon. I didn't want to go Mandibuzz because Mandibuzz is a nice check to that Butterfree in case it does get out of hand with Quiver Dance, Compound Eyes, all that fun stuff. Arcanine comes out. It's on an air balloon. Interesting. I'm going to go on a Jellicent. There's the Wild Charge. That was a pretty solid play by my opponent. Unfortunately, we are going to be able to live that for them. And I'll just go for the Strength Sap on this thing as he ends up going out into the Ferrothorn. So any Iron Balls, any things like that he wants to go for are going to be void. I'm going to taunt on any sort of Stealth Rocks. Perfect. And now what I'd like to do, truly, is just taunt the Quagsire coming in. Oh, yeah. And with this... I'm just going to Will-O-Wisp. I'm also going to miss the Will-O-Wisp as well. But we're Water Absorb, so my opponent does go there. And I'm just going to try to Will-O-Wisp one more time. We did see it was Intimidate Arcanine, so I can't activate a Flash Fire or anything. Butterfree comes out. We missed a second Will-O-Wisp. This is the blindest Jellicent I've ever seen. We kept Mandibuzz around exactly for this reason in case he does decide to go for the Sleep Powder here. And because he saw that I U-turned, what I am going to actually do here is just click Foul Play. I'm going to try to get a little bit of damage off on this thing. As the Quagsire does come out. And now what I can do here, because I'm faster, is U-turn into my Steelix on the Toxic. Oh, no, you're Rocky Helmet. I'm just going to go straight out into Steelix on the Toxic. Goes for the Scald. That was a good play by my opponent, actually. We should be faster. And I'm going to click Stealth Rocks because that is going to hurt the Arcanine as well as the Butterfree. There's the Toxic. It's a faster Quagsire, which is interesting, but we are just in a range now where we do live with Scald. I'm going to try to get a little bit of damage off. He keeps going for Toxic. I'm going to get a little bit more damage off with Body Press, so that way Mr. RIME's able to do some damage here. Here's a Recover. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit more damage off. And he can just, if he just wants to keep recovering, I'm going to go now for an Iron Defense. There's the Recover. So now this Body Press is going to be doing a little bit more damage. There's the Scald. Okay, perfect. So Mr. RIME should actually be able to take out this Quagsire, I would assume. Yeah, Mr. RIME's going to come out. Mr. RIME's going to come out and click Freeze Dry. That's going to be a dead Quagsire, which was causing me a lot of issues here. Now, we still have the Jellicent's pretty full. Jellicent's pretty healthy to take on the Arcanine. We've got the Wobbuffet here. And if he allows me to just Calm Mind, okay. Fine by me. I'm faster, so as soon as this Calm Mind breaks, we're good. I am going to go out into my Mandibuzz here, though. There's the Sleep Powder. Perfect. Okay, so, again, and I am going to be able to pick up that next match. That's 2 forfeits in a row, man. That's 2 forfeits in a row. Mr. RIME actually put in a ton of work there. It baited in that Butterfree. Was able to knock out the Quagsire as well. And Calm Minding in this thing forced the Butterfree, or Calm Minding against Wobbuffet did force in that Butterfree, which allowed us to pivot around into our Mandibuzz. So, another great game showing off Mr. RIME and what it can do here. I'm going to go on ahead and queue up a third one, and we'll be right back. All right, so my opponent has a lot of water on their team, so Clefable and Dracozolt are going to be able to put in a lot of work. So is our Freeze Dry Mr. RIME under the right conditions. Does have the Cinderace with Court Change, so I'm not too worried about getting rocks up. He does have Excadrill as well, so I'm also still not worried about getting rocks up. And then, of course, he does have the Dracovish and things like that. So I think Jellicent's a pretty solid lead here against the Inteleon that's coming out. You're probably like Specs Dark Pulse, which makes me want to go out into my Mandibuzz here. Shadow Ball, actually. Okay. So we don't see any damage here. There definitely could be an Ice Beam coming off. I'm going to U-turn out of here as the Grimmsnarl comes in, which is fine by me because this actually gives me Steelix. And I'm going to click Iron Defense here. Did you just taunt me? I'm going to Iron Head. Reflect. Okay, cool. So we get a little bit of damage off here. That's fine because I do like getting rocks up to force a spin. And I am just going to start clicking Iron Defense. We've got max HP still with our Sturdy, so I can let this Inteleon come in if it wants to. Excadrill actually comes in. Perfect. So we're going to get some Iron Defense up to be able to take on this thing a little bit better. And what I can do now... should live one. There's the Rapid Spin. So he gets the rocks away, gets the speed boost. I'm going to go for another Iron Defense, and now I'm just going to click Body Press. Body Press on the Inteleon coming in. That's going to be some big boy damage right there. That is going to be some big boy damage. And I'm going to go Jellicent here on the Hydro Pump. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And what I can do here is just Will-O-Wisp the Toxapex wanting to come in. And what I'd like to do is actually taunt this thing to shut it down. Now, a good play my opponent can make could be going back out into the Inteleon here, but I feel like Toxapex is just going to want to Toxic me or get up T-Spikes. And if that's the case, taunting this thing does give me in a position where I can bring in Mr. Rime. There's the Toxic Spikes. Perfect. So he does have the screens up. He's got one more turn of screens. Mr. Rime can still come out here. However, yeah, that's going to be the play, actually. Screen Cleaner, we're going to get rid of the screens. Inteleon comes out here. Now, we did see the Shadow Ball earlier. I do have specially defensive Mandibuzz here to be able to take this. And if I'm my opponent, actually, if I'm my opponent, I go for an Ice move if I have it. Shadow Ball comes off. We do have a Cassid Berry, so we are going to be able to eat that. So we do know it is Specs. I am going to go out into my Mandibuzz here to take this. And I will just simply click U-turn here as the Dracovish comes in. So we do have here... I'm going to try to bait a Water move with Steelix. I'm going to try to bait a Water move with Steelix to get my Jellicent just a little bit healthier. So I want him to go for the Fishious Rend. There's the Fishious Rend. That's going to bring us back up a little bit more. And what I can do here is just Strength Sap on the Cinderace coming in. Perfect. And now all I have to do is click Hex a few times. He goes for the U-turn. That's cool. Because we'll get a Hex off on something. If he... What's his best bet here? What's his best bet for taking down Jelly? Ooh, Inteleon coming in. That's not what you want to see. That was probably his best bet for taking down Jellicent. He could have, like, Crunch on Dracovish. That's certainly a possibility. And if that comes in right now, I'd probably anticipate that's what's going to happen. Grimmsnarl actually comes in. So, I can't... I'm just going to Will-O-Wisp. He misses the Thunder Wave, which is pretty big. So I'm going to Will-O-Wisp here to kind of nerf this thing. And then I'm going to go out into my Steelix. Actually, oh, I should have went out into Dracozolt there on the Thunder Wave. That would have been nice. That would have been nice. But I will just... I don't see any of his team wanting to go for things against me. I'm going to get the Stealth Rocks back up on the Cinderace. And while he can Court Change... Oh, he doesn't. Okay, that's fine. I can just go back onto my Jellicent. So we do know that if Grimmsnarl comes out, it's going to click Thunder Wave, which does give my Dracozolt a little bit of access. And my opponent's going to forfeit. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. Wonderful. Wonderful. Let's go on ahead. We're only about 20 minutes in, and we've got 3 W's under our belt with this team. MV's got a hell of a team right here. Let's go on ahead and queue up for a 4th and final one, and we'll be right back. All right, so my opponent's got Toxtricity, Corviknight, Rotom Heat, Roserade, Dhelmise, and Torkoal. So definitely an interesting team that, once again, Mr. Rime does really, really well on. We're able to assist a little bit more with those. Grandpa does really, really well on. I mean, we can handle 3 of the team. If we can get a few Calm Minds up, we're able to take on that Rotom just a little bit better, but still not the most ideal situation in the world. What I do want to lead off with here, I do like rocks. I do definitely like rocks. I'm going to actually lead off Dracozolt here against the Roserade. And I've got a Mana Buzz, which eats pretty much everything it wants to go for. Sleep Powder comes off. Perfect. Overcoat's going to be doing just what we need it to do. Typically, Roserade is faster, so I'm going to go for a U-turn here as the Torkoal wants to come out. And now with Torkoal coming out, Torkoal's interesting. Torkoal's interesting. I think Drakazolt's actually a fine play. And I'm going to click Substitute. There's Stealth Rocks. Okay. So we know we're faster, so we know Bolt Beak's going to be coming off of double damage. So that's going to be 170 base power. We're able to do some big damage. He Rapid Spins to get a speed boost, but we're still more than likely faster. So I'm going to go for another Bolt Beak here. We're going to knock out his Spinner and his Sunsetter. And this is going to bring in the Delmise. Now, this is a sun-boosted Fire Fang that we should be able to do some big boy damage against this Anchor. Yeah, perfect. It is Rocky Helmet Anchor. Goes to the Solar Blade, and the Sun is going to take out our sub, which is fine. And once more with Feeling. Well, let's see. I feel like I know the answer to this, but I'm still just going to check. Fire Fang's doing a bit more, but Dragon Claw should be able to take out. 5% chance, don't burn me. Perfect. All right, cool. So Drakazolt's putting in a lot of work here. We're able to take down 2 of the Spinners, which is nice. Here comes probably what I'm most afraid of. Here comes what I'm probably most afraid of. I'm just going to go for Dragon Claw. Oh, we're faster too. Oh, so he is... Okay. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'm just... Volbeak's doing 69%. Yurt. Taunts me, so I can't. Okay. Okay. That's fine. Drakazolt's just going to keep sitting here. And we're just going to keep clicking Bolt Beak because we're faster than everything on my opponent's team. Did he have to Toxic me just to take down Dracozolt? I don't even think this last match is going to be a good showcase for Mr. Rime. Unless this is where I get to come in and start setting up with it. I think it might be. Here's the overheat. Misses. Oh, yeah. I think this is where Mr. Rhymes has a few words with my opponent. Oh, no. Rip. So, I'm just going to go for a Psy Shock. There's the other overheat. He's -2. I'm +2. I'm going to go for the Psy Shock here and knock it out. Corviknight does come in. Corviknight is going to get freeze-dried here, and that is going to be doing some big boy damage. Body Press comes off. That's not enough to kill me, unfortunately. I'm going to go for one more freeze-dry here. Now, part of me wants to dodge a Sleep Powder here. Part of me really wants to dodge a Sleep Powder here. But I'm going to try to go for it. Goes for the Giga Drain, and Mr. Rime is going to pick up the sweep there, ending off the live 4-0. 4-0. Hell of a team. Hope you guys have enjoyed. If you guys have, show some love on that like button down below. If you guys are new, feel free to subscribe for some more Showdown lives. Go check out MV's channel. The link to his channel is in the description of this video as well. All that being said, I'm going to remind you guys to be great and do great, and I'll see you all in the next video. Later.